Mazzaroth Decode 2. Signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Welcome back, family. Let's dig in. It's time. We're back on Stellarium. We're looking at the signs in the heavens. We are getting all of the signs that we need to see exactly what our timeline is going to be. All of the things are being manifested in the Mazzaroth, and all we need to do is look up. The story is screaming at us. So here we go. First, we're looking at, we're going to take two asteroids that I missed from yesterday. These are signs for 2-4, but we still have to get to them to complete the storyline that's playing out in the heavens. So the first thing we see here is Asteroid Asekame entering into the altar of Libra. This is yesterday at 1:56 a.m. And if you watched my Decode number 1, then you know that Vesta just exited the constellation of Virgo and has now entered into the constellation of Libra. And we know that Vesta is the virgins. And so let's look at the codes for Asekame. And we'll do this really quick, and then we'll jump back into the sign. Give me a sec, fam. This has been a big time problem lately. Again, I'm just dealing with my computer. So here we are, Asteroid Asekame. And this is actually a February 4th alignment. And Asteroid Asekame equals I'm completing the code. I'm calling dead man to breathe. I am a lighthouse, holy 88. He is our Redeemer, perfect alignment. Christmas star, Mercury 7, September 9th. Now we know September 9th is the Revelation 12 sign, and that is the day that Jupiter was born from Virgo, the day that Jupiter passed the Spica star. Follow the rabbit. CERN is the beast, Antichrist beast. Cyber germ warfare, computer AI, SARS CoV Parola, crushing snakes, the oil of Christ, and you raise me up. So we are still getting signs of the escape of the bride, and we're also getting detailed information about the things that are about to happen in the tribulation. And it's very important to be able to understand that we're still seeing these signs in Libra and Virgo, and that's not always the case. There are multiple constellations right now with nothing going on. And so it's important to be able to understand what the heavens are saying, and this is how we go into details. We look at the codes, we look at the alignments, we look at the other associated asteroids, comets, and planets, and they're all participating in a grand play in the heavens. This is the story of it's his story in the heavens. This is the Bible and the stars. and we're seeing all of the scriptures being played out before our very eyes. So we have this asteroid, and it is entering into the uh, inner altar of Libra. And again, Vesta, the virgins, have now entered into the Libra constellation. And the ancient depiction of Libra was an altar, and as we know, it is now depicted as a pair of balances, and we can see both aspects in the marriage of the bride, because with it comes judgment, and those weighed in the balances and found wanting will have to enter into tribulation to be refined, or to decide that they don't want any part of that, and that's their choice. None of this is forced on anybody. These are our choices on who we follow and who we put up on a pedestal. And this is the dividing line. We are seeing that happening in our world right now. The great dividing line. The line in the sand that Jesus drew. Whose side are you on? And that's what this is showing to us, is that the bride and the virgins are still getting signs in at the altar. So now we're going to go to the next sign, and this is Asteroid Anhalt. And again, this is another sign that I missed from yesterday. We're going to add it in today. And this is Asteroid Anhalt aligning with the Cancer constellation. And this is a very, very, very important constellation when it comes to the understanding of the harvest. And what we're going to do really quick is we're going to talk for a minute about the constellation of Cancer. This constellation is one of the few constellations that actually has, you can see this alignment of Anhalt. This is 2-4. We're going to quickly click out, and we're going to be looking at what they call the Beehive cluster, or Prasepe. It's also known as the manger. And this location in the heavens is a very, very important location within the Mazzaroth, because it is seen as where all the sheepfold, it's essentially the sheepfold, the manger, and it can also be associated with the birth of Christ, the crib of Christ, and this information here goes into the Beehive cluster, Messier 44. Again, this is seen as the manger, and it's associated with the Hyades. And if you've been watching me for a while, then you know that the Hyades are associated with the 5 wise virgins. And we can see this information about its location and the history of the nebula, and it's known in the Mazzaroth under a great many names, and it's all associated with bringing in all of the lambs into the inner circle, and we can see how these stories in the heavens have played a part in a lot of mythology also. So I'll connect this Wikipedia of the Beehive cluster, and I'm also going to connect a study on Cancer so that you can see how important this constellation is. And again, we have Anhalt. Wow. It's been rough. So we have this alignment here, and we're looking at the end of the day. Last night, we have the alignment of Anhalt with the Cancer constellation. And again, this is associated with harvest. This is associated with where the lambs go, the inner circle, the gateway. There's many different signs associated with Cancer. We're not going to get into that. I'm going to just link the Mazzaroth study, and then that way you can go and do your own research and take whatever time it is that you have to dig deeper into understanding what these constellations are all about. So now we're going to move to Iris, and we have alignment with Venus, and this is 309. Okay, so here we have the alignment of Iris and Neptune. And this was a very important alignment for me because Neptune is seen there's multiple ways of looking at Neptune. Number one, it can be looked at as the sea, which is a sign of the people or the population or all the different cultures of planet Earth. And it can also represent the underworld, the abyss, and it can also represent the Anunnaki ruler Enki, Ea. His name was Ea. I'm going to say that again. His name was Ea. Enki, the ruler of the underworld. Ea. Now, Enki, the brother of Enlil, is what we were talking about with the battle of the serpent and the eagle. And these are represented to us in the heavens. And we can see the multiple ways that the serpent is represented to us in the heavens, and one of them is the planet Neptune. And this planet can be a representation of Enki, and I see this alignment as the eye of God on Enki. And we see the bride, Venus, is right there. It's as if Iris is protecting Venus through this transition. And if you understand the Mazzaroth, then the ecliptic, which is the red line here, this anything under the ecliptic is considered the underworld, and anything above the ecliptic is considered above. And this is another way that we get our as above, so below. These are the ecliptic is like a mirror in the heavens, and they call this anything below the ecliptic as the underworld. So we're seeing Neptune in the oceans of heaven where he rules, and we are seeing Iris and Venus in the constellation of Pisces above the ecliptic. And this is a very, very important sign in the heavens. We are seeing these signs happening in the constellation of Pisces in the eastern fish. And we can look in closer and we can see how, let's do this really quick, just so we can see these lines. We can see how Neptune, even though it's in the underworld, is in the constellation of Pisces. And so we can also see this as an attack from the underworld on the bride of Messiah. And we know that, again, it's in this house of the fishes, which is the sign of the brides. Okay, now we're going to move to Hebe. This is Asteroid Hebe, and this is another very, very important sign in the Mazzaroth family. This is actually really, really incredible. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up exactly. We're looking at Asteroid Hebe, and it's making its alignment with the Resurrection Temple. And it's as if Hebe is leading Mercury, the messenger, directly into the temple. And this was really special to me to see this asteroid leading Mercury in. Let's go ahead and take a look at these codes really fast. We've got it. Let's go over Anhalt really quick. I missed those codes. This is Asteroid Anhalt, and this is the alignment of Cancer. Where'd you go? Okay, so we have Asteroid Anhalt 888, appointed time, the sacred marriage, resurrection, I am raising the dead, message from God, I am the phoenix entering heaven, be gone to paradise, fly like an eagle, Yesu Christ, the game is over, I am coming soon, the Lord's codes, global financial reset, Mount Zion, end of the USA, Battle of Armageddon, Ma'at mathematics. Now, you can't make any of these things up. It is directly associated with all of the signs that we have been looking at, especially over the last couple weeks. These are all lining up, and all the codes are like laser focused, and that's why I've become laser focused on just doing this work, cutting out all the fat. We're just going to show the signs, break them down, and we're going to be leading the bride directly to the door. So here we are. We're looking at Hebe. And let's now go to the codes of Hebe before we see this entrance of Mercury. Asteroid Hebe equals perfected bride. Now, this was really important to me because of us just going through Hanukkah and the dedication of the temple, and us being the temple, or the bride being the stones that build the temple in heaven. We are looking at a perfect sign, because now the bride has been perfected, and we see the kingdom of God, the grand rising. See, gates be open. Jesus codes, gatekeepers, master code. The end is here. Ophiuchus, Archangel Michael. You cannot make this up, family. This asteroid equals Ophiuchus and Archangel Michael, and that's what Ophiuchus is the Archangel Michael. It's the representation of Michael wrestling the serpent in heaven. Recompense, Apocalypsis, the fallen angels under the sea, Trojan War, war in heaven, and 119. 119 was the first day of the dedication of the temple, and the last day of Hanukkah on the Mazzaroth calendar. Family, these codes are proving all of these things out. So we see Hebe aligning with the temple of resurrection. And now let's go ahead and move forward and watch as Mercury transitions into the temple. And we can see here now Mercury has entered into the temple tonight. Let's go ahead and pull up the exact time of the alignment. We can see that. And let's get it right on. So here we are, and we're looking at Mercury entering into the Temple of Resurrection tonight, 1642. That's 4:42 this evening Pacific, right before sunset Pacific time. And we are also give me one sec, fam. I'm looking at my notes. We are looking at... Oh, I have to go back. I missed one more thing, but let's go ahead and finish this. We're looking at right before sunset, Mercury being inside of the resurrection temple with Hebe, and the sun tomorrow aligns with the capstone of the resurrection temple. So these are all very important signs of the resurrection. And we are also getting codes of the resurrection of the dead. And again, Ceres is still inside of the constellation of Capricorn in the fish section, which is a sign of resurrection, and Ceres is the goddess of marriage, and we're looking at Ceres as the judge. And now we have Enoch entering into the temple of resurrection. And again, tomorrow the sun becomes the capstone with Mercury right in the middle of the temple. So we have very, very important signs that are happening in Mazzaroth right now. And all we have to do is look up the stories being told to us in the heavens. And we just need to keep looking up. So let's take a step back. I need to go back to Asekome. I missed one thing. Let's just do this really quick. We're going to go back, and we can see Asekome is inside of the altar, and we also see Metis, and I forgot to bring that up. So we have Metis also inside of the altar, and again, Metis equals wedding. So that's why these signs are still really strong for the wedding. We're not past any of the wedding signs because we're still getting wedding signs. And now with Vesta having entered into Libra, which is the altar sign, now we have the wedding with the virgins, and everybody's there to participate in the wedding. And as you know, we still have, let's go ahead and look. We have Juno there. I think we have Dembowska is still here. We have Esther. Family, we're getting all of these signs that are still right here in the altar or in transition to Ophiuchus or transitioning into Scorpius. And all of these signs are very important for us to keep our eyes on because the signs for the wedding are not completed. And I know there's a lot of people out there who they get excited about the news. They get excited about the things that are happening in our world, earthquakes, solar flare. There's so many different things that can distract us. But our Master gave us one sign, and that is that there would be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, family. Look up. This is where we're getting the storyline and the timeline. It's all being shown to us. And I believe I have found all of the keys in the heavens directing us right to the exit line. So now we're going to go to Jupiter. And this is another mind-blowing sign today. We have Jupiter standing still. Today is Jupiter's day of coming out of retrograde, and Jupiter is standing at the horn of Ephraim. So here we're looking at Jupiter and its moons, and it is standing at the horn of Ephraim. You have Eunomia there. and we just broke down another sign. I believe it was just a day ago or 2 days ago. A couple days ago, we just broke down another sign in Taurus. We are still getting the signs associated with Taurus, the bull, and we can see this as Jupiter taking the horn of Ephraim, and this can even be looked at as Jupiter, the king, grabbing the horn and blowing the trumpet. This can be seen as the king blowing the trumpet, the horn. And this is a very important sign in the heavens because we know that this location that is associated here with Taurus and the golden gate of the ecliptic is the line coming down from Pleiades, and it's all associated with the head and the horns of the bull. So now we're going to be looking at our final sign, and we have the moon, who is going into her chamber, and we have at the very end of the day today, we have the bride entering into the wedding chamber, the bridesmaid's chamber, where the bride is prepared for the wedding. Now, this is a very important location in the heavens. Again, this is the entrance of the golden gate of the ecliptic. And then when the moon, we're just going to go ahead and run this forward. When the moon gets to this location, then she is in the silver gate. And she actually enters into the silver gate when she reaches the Elnath star. And then she's in transition, and then this location in the hand of Ariga, or in the whip, or the I forgot what the name of it is. There's another name that they have for it, but it's basically what the sheep herder or the goat herder or the shepherd uses to guide his animals into the manger, or the inner circle where the lambs are kept. And so all of these signs are associated with that Persepe, and it's also associated with the Pleiades, because this location in the Pleiades is also associated with the brides, and the brides are associated with the lambs. You can go do some deep dive into Mary of Magdala, and you can look at what Magdala was back in those days. And I would also look up the Tower of Magdala. And if you do a deep dive into that, you're going to be blown away at the associations. So this is a very important day. We're seeing very important wedding signs, and we're also seeing at the end of the day and into midnight. Let's go ahead and really quick look at what time the bride comes out of her chamber. So we're looking at, I would just say 2:30 tomorrow morning. The bride comes out of the Pleiades chamber. Thanks for coming, family. We will see you tomorrow. Much love.